Sometimes the biggest problem in our life is not someone else, but the thought we receive without question. Good morning everyone, respected judges and you all my dear friends. One day, after traveling back and forth from college, I felt very tired. At that moment, my mom asked me for help. A negative thought filled my mind. Pessimistic thought rushed into my mind and I began to argue with my mother. In that moment, I spoke out everything I was thinking. I heard my mother, even though she was simply asking for help. It felt as if there was a locked door between my mother's heart and mine. I wanted to open it, but I couldn't. A destructive voice kept feeding me negative thoughts, even when I didn't ask for them. I began to wonder, can I ever be truly happy and peaceful? Later on, I joined music school and attended regular mind education classes. I learned about this destructive voice, the voice that led me to despair, sadness, and misunderstanding. I understood that when I helped my mother, a self-righteous heart grew inside me. Without realizing it, I began to trust myself too much and see fault only in others. I realized a very important lesson. It was not her lack of love, it was my destructive thought. My mother loved me in a way I didn't understand before, not always with words, but with sacrifice, with responsibilities, and with presence, and in her silence. When I tried to stand in my mother's shoes, I was able to overcome my destructive thought, sadness, and despair. I began to understand her heart and also found peace within myself. This situation may seem small and common, but it completely changed my way of thinking about life. Not every thought in our mind is true. Some thoughts are destructive, some thoughts lie to us, and when we accept them without questioning, they control us. Today, I believe that true happiness begins when we understand other hearts, when we stand in their shoes and see the world through their eyes with wisdom about the world of the heart. We can find the key to happiness, just as I found the key to my mother's heart. Thank you.
Good morning, respected guest teacher and my dear friends. My name is Mita and I am from Odisha. Before start my speech, I want to ask you one simple question. Have you ever had a thought so heavy and that it made you to feel weak and hopeless? Yes, I have. Today I am not here to speak from a book or from a lesson. Today I am here to share a true story of my own life. The story taught me how powerful our thoughts can be. How powerful our thoughts can be. Why we should always choose our life. When I was 20 years old, I made a mistake. Without asking permission, I used my elder sister's phone to talk with someone. It seems like a small mistake, but in my family, it became a very serious matter. My younger brother came to know about it, and he got angry. He shouted at me, he scolded at me, and before leaving room, he warned me not to go anywhere. Our other brothers would come home and decide what to do with me. After he left, I was alone. I cried a lot. Fear filled my heart, and in my mind, full of question. Why do I have no freedom in this house? Why does no one support me? Why is my life like this? Slowly, my thoughts became very negative. I imagined that my brothers coming home and shouted at me again. At that moment, very dangerous thought came in my mind. That thoughts should never followed. Ending of my life is the only one way to escape my pain. I tried to suicide myself. At that moment, memory of my mother came in my mind. Her love, her care, and her sacrifice for me. But still my mind was confused and heavy. At that time, something unexpected happened. My mother came searching for me, to calling me for food. When she saw me, she screamed loudly. She ran out outside, asking for help. Please save my child, please save my child. Hearing her voice, nearby houses came running. They did not give up. They tried to help me, to save my life. That day, I understood something very important. Today I am alive, not because of I am strong, because of her love was very stronger than my negative thoughts. Today I am here in this very beautiful place because of her love and support of others. My dear friends, through this lesson, through this experience, I learned very powerful lesson. Not every thought is coming in our mind is correct. Some thoughts are very dangerous and harm us. When you feel in your mind is heavy, when you feel alone and scared and confused, talk with your parents, talk with your teacher, friends and elders. Asking for help is not weakness. Choosing to live life is very brave. Life may be difficult sometimes. People may be misunderstood us. But remember, every problem has solution. Through this, my story, I want to tell you all. Do not follow any negative thoughts. Choose life, choose courage, choose hope, and always believe that one better day will come. Thank you.
Good morning to all my respected teachers and my dear friends. My name is Anvesha, and today I would like to share a small experience with you all. When I first joined the music school as a musician, everything felt very difficult and challenging for me. At the beginning, I assumed that yes, music school is all about having a pretty voice. But one day, when I saw the 4 music books in front of me, I felt like a huge wave was waiting for me. The most challenging moment came during my piano lesson with our new piano teacher, because I was not that good at playing piano. When my turn finally came, I was shivering with fear. As I entered the room, my heart was beating fast, and my hands were already sweating like anything. My teacher asked me to start playing it. I sat next beside to her, and I started to play. I began, but after a few seconds, in a very cold tone and serious tone, she said, "Stop, play it again." At that time, I felt like I should give up. What's going on? I was just going to finish it. But unluckily, I had to start again from the beginning. I started, and once more she said, "Stop! That's not how you play. It should be like this." At that time, I felt very discouraged. But suddenly, my teacher placed her hand on my shoulder and she said, "Anvesha, you can do it. Yes, those things will naturally come back, but don't accept them in your mind. Doing any work, you should have a positive mindset." After listening to her words, I started from the beginning, carefully and slowly, until the end. After completing it, my teachers looked at me and she said, "Anvesha, you did it. Good job." From this experience, I learned something very important. Our mind is the place where everything is filtered and shaped in a way in our heart that determines how we live our lives, how the work we do, or what choices we make during our obstacles and life situation. So my dear friends, having a positive mindset, it affects us the way we think, act or handle life situations. Thank you.
Good morning everybody. Myself, Michael. Today I would like to share about the king of the pop, Michael Jackson. He has many difficulties in his life, but this is one of the public perception and media circus. Once upon a time, whole media was against to the Michael, but he never gave up, and he became as the king of the pop. Do you know how the lion became the king of the forest? By its power or by its size? Do you think the lion he was wiser? No, the lion has the mindset that never give up. Likewise, I would like to share of one incident of mine. A kabaddi match conducted in my school that my opponent were very stronger than us. Me and my team members are very worried how to win the match. But meanwhile, the match was started. My opponent was playing very aggressively and very powerfully. That time, my coach was shouting like anything, saying that never give up. That time, me and my team members, we could not understand why my coach was shouting like that. Unfortunately, that time we got 3 points. That time we understood that never give up. If we give up, we cannot reach our goals. Thank you.
An experience that changed my life. Good morning, respected judges, teachers, and my dear friends. My name is Faith. Today I would like to share a small experience from my life. There was a time when I was very afraid of writing. Whenever I tried to write an essay, my mind became blank. This writing made me so nervous. One day, my teacher asked me to prepare for an essay competition. I did not believe I could do it, but I listened to my teacher and slowly started practicing. As time passed, one morning at 7 o'clock, my teacher called my mother and said that I had to attend the competition that day. I was shocked because I thought there were still 3 days left. There was no time to think. My mother quickly prepared my tiffin. I wore my uniform and my father dropped me at the competition place. On the way, my mind was flooded with thoughts. I cannot do it. When I reached there, I saw many students and teachers from different schools. The place was very crowded. I felt scared and confused. I saw here and there. I asked some students for help and they showed me the essay competition room. When the competition started, I was given a white blank paper. I stared at it, but nothing came to my mind. Oh no, I felt nervous, but I did not give up. I remembered my teacher's word, saying that, Faith, you are a bright student, don't give up writing. And I slowly started writing. Somehow, I completed my essay. After that, I went to the auditorium, feeling sad and thinking that I couldn't write well. And then suddenly, I heard my name from the stage. The third prize goes to Faith Clarkson. I was surprised and very happy. And I came back from the stage and my friends and teachers, they praised me. I can see the happiness in their face and in my heart. From this experience, I learned one important lesson. When we listen to our parents and teachers and trust them, no matter the situation is, when we remind ourselves, the words of our parents, teachers, mentors can make us overcome fear and succeed in life. Thank you.
Good morning to one and all. My name is Iksil and I'm here as a mind lecturer. Imagine this moment when somebody look at you and says your heart is not strong. How do you feel? Good? Bad? In that moment, life feels different. Question begin to rise. How? Why so? What? My heart is not strong enough? But here's something extraordinary that even though many people hurt the world, but they do not stop living. They continue with courage. A weak heart does not mean a defeated life, but it requires a strength, decisions, discipline, and mental courage. I knew because I'm one of them. As I grew up, I realized something that is wrong with me. So when I look at myself, I saw a bright self-confidence, grow inside my heart. My decisions, my thoughts, and my egos. I thought I can handle everything, but it was the worst that I cannot do anything. So one fine day, I had a counseling, and the counselor mentioned a lot that you have a weak heart. What? I cannot understand when he said that, but later on, I realized and I understood that I don't need to fight alone. I need guidance, humility, and truth. Through that, I start to overcome my heart. So today, I stand here to share with you all that life is not about having a perfect body and a strong heart. Life is about choosing a right heart. So let us all learn together and unite with our heart. A heart that learns, a heart that listens, and a heart that lives with guidance and courage. So let's all decide today, even though we live fully with our own weaknesses, because life is not about staying alive, but it's about choosing how we live. Thank you.
Everyone, have you ever felt unstoppable? Have you ever felt that whatever you was doing is completely correct? Good morning, respected judges and dear judges and my dear friends. Today, I want to talk about my younger self one, who was full of pride and full of confidence. I come from a very small farming family. My parents really work hard under the hot sun every single day, but they never had a chance to study. But their dreams changed my life when I was just 5 years old. At the age of 5, I had to leave my parents and I had to stay with my uncle's family for long 12 years, only to get a better education. Back then, I was not good at studies, but luckily, I got admission in one of the best schools in India. My parents were proud, my village was proud, and I was quite happy with myself. But one incident happened with me. Very small, but that changed the way I think of myself. I once played chess with a senior student. She was a state-level chess player, and for the first time I was playing that game. I didn't even know the rules properly, but I thought I will manage. But after 5 seconds of playing, checkmate, I lost. I felt embarrassed. I told myself, one day I will prove myself. From that day onwards, I played chess with her during every lunch break. I lost again and again and again, until one day I defeated her. She never came back. I was so happy. My friends, they praised me, and one silent voice came inside me. It didn't sound. It was whispering, yes, you did it. You proved yourself. And I told myself, Ashmita, if you want something, you get it. And if I say more, I was also a national level Kho player, and I scored good marks in 10th and 12th CBSE exams. I got into a top college in Odisha for chemistry honors. And even I became the freshers of the year. I enjoyed my freedom. I was so excited for my graduation days. But then, I failed my graduation. That was the first time ever in my life I failed. But everyone, do you know why? I stopped studying properly. I thought I will manage later. I still have time. Late nights using phones, skipping classes, ignoring responsibility. It was very hard to tell to my parents. But then, one day I told to my family. The relationships I had with them broke. The love turned into pain. And arguments replaced understanding. I didn't know what to do, but the pride inside me had never crossed down. And then, after Corona, I entered music school. My teacher, she corrected me again and again every single day. I felt suffocated, I hated it. I was so confused. But one day I realized, she didn't fight with me. She fought with my thinking, which was never shaken before. I didn't fall into addiction, but I fell into the ocean of pride. But she helped me to come out. Through her guidance, I could see myself clearly. When success came early, I believed I was right. I believed I can do alone. But that made me to failure. The pride I had in me led me to laziness. The laziness led to neglect, and neglect led me to failure. I saw myself clearly that not as someone unstoppable, but as someone who can be wrong. I thought I was running so fast, but I was running without the direction. But guidance didn't slow me down, it showed me the way. That's when I truly moved forward. Today, if I were to deliver you one message, talent may take us ahead. I repeat, talent may take us ahead, but guidance keeps us on the right path. And I learned this the very hard way, but I hope we don't have to. Thank you so much.
First, I want to share a small story. Every year in IWF, there was a rafting trip of our college students. One of our students, he was riding a boat with the chairman. He started riding and he said to chairman, "Why don't you raft from here? I'll jump into the river, I'll go to the hill." He jumped in with no goggles and closed his eyes and started swimming. After a while, he thought, "I should be there by now." He lifted his head. But the hill was gone. He was going opposite direction. But he realized that he was caught in a whirlpool. No matter how hard he tried, he can never get it back. Today, I want to share one of my life experience. I was lost in the game. Through that, I learned a powerful lesson about why we should never lose another person's heart. Good morning, one and all. My name is Jelko. My story begins during the time coronavirus pandemic started. The time I spent on games are greater than the time I spent with my parents. They're sitting right beside me, but I was lost in the world of video games. At first, I thought I just played for stress relief. Just like I jumped in video games. The stress relief turned into habit turned into addiction. My parents warned me again and again. I didn't listen. I thought I knew better. Just like he plugged into the water without hesitation, I keep losing myself on games hour after hour. I realized the games were quietly pulling me in. I spent money on games. I went through countless sleepless nights, staring on screen, slowly losing myself. Money. I spent money on gambling. Money that could have supported my family, money that came from my parents' hard work. I thought I was connecting with people online. I thought I had friends, but in reality, I was losing. I was disconnecting with my parents, not truly living in the real world. At first, everything felt normal. Playing games felt right. It's not only about games, but there are many ways to lose this. Your peace, your time. Whether you're going out or sitting at home, watching TV, spending hours in front of computer. Might feel fine at first, but slowly you lose it all, just like I did. Then I understood. I taught myself a painful lesson. We should never lose another person's heart, especially the heart of our parents. The love of parents, family, are worth more than any gain, worth more than any virtual victory, because money can be earned again, games can be played again, but the time we lose with our loved ones, we'll never get it back. Thank you.
Respected judges, teachers, and my dear students. My dear friends, today I would like to share a life lesson that I have learned from my teacher. which not only helped me in control my anger, but also helped me to understand the people and relationships. One day, I was very angry at my brother. He accidentally broke in my video game. I shouted at him. I shouted at him in front of everyone. He completely became silent. His eyes filled with water, and he silently walked away. At that time, I felt I was right because I believed my anger was justified. After that, I felt something heavy in my heart, a feeling of guilt and regret. The next day, I went to my teacher and explained about this everything. He patiently listened to me and said something which I will never forget. He said, he said, when you show your anger to others, you won't win the situation. You lose the people. And he explained that every human being has their own understanding and their own feelings. And he said that if you really want to understand people, you must think from their point of view. If the person in front of you is a child, you should not think like an adult. Instead, you should think like you must go down to their age and understand their feelings, their fears, and the level of their understanding. His words reflected deeply my behavior. The next moment, I went to my brother and I spoke with him calmly and patiently and listened to him instead of blaming him. He smiled. He apologized me sincerely and said, and he hugged me. At that moment, I realized, understanding heals the wounds faster than anger ever can. The moral of my story: anger builds walls, but understanding builds bridges. Let us always remember, before reacting in anger, let us pause for a moment and think, because relationships are far more better than our temporary anger. Thank you.
Life has never been easy for me. Let me begin with a simple question. Have you ever felt like life is keeping you testing again and again, even when you're already tired? I have many times, and today I stand before you to say one thing with confidence. My struggle didn't break me, they built me. Life has never been easy for me because I have had moments of confusion, fear, and self-doubt. There were days when I felt completely lost, when my dreams seemed too big and my strength too small. I watched others move ahead while I just struggled to stand still. At times, I asked myself, why is this happening to me? Why me? But struggles have a strange way of teaching us lessons that comfort never can. And because of that, I could learn a main important thing. So, when I learned about that thing, I was very happy and thankful because I could learn from my mentors, my family members, and from my teachers whatever I had learned, and I could get the outcome of it. Because in my life, I was also going on a astray, like a dog astray, which has not any order, and I was going on a straight line, on a wrong decision, wrong direction, which I had chose by myself, because I didn't like any right decision which my parents took for me or they used to concern about me. I used to like my own decision, my own ways, my own style and my own lifestyle, whatever I like, I used to do it. But after I got and gone through the situation, I realized that this is not the right which I'm doing and which I'm continuing. Because if I'm now happy, but after several years, I will be I will be wasting my whole life and my whole time, whatever I need and whatever I have suffered and whatever I gone through. So really, I have also my experience that when I went through my own thoughts, through my own ways, and through my own trusting, right thinkings, I have faced many difficulties. And I got beaten also from my parents, and I got suggested and advice from all the people whom I were connected. So really, this is not the true thing which is a youngster used to do. Because at a youngster age, we used to follow our own thinkings and our own right paths, whatever we do. But really, I have also have been the same way and the same direction, but really, I'm thankful that I will come back from that and from that place. So really, I'm thankful today, and I'm very happy that I'm in this position and in this position that I am able to be here because of them. Because I was just going astray, I just strayed, but I am now happy to be here and to go forward whatever I have faced. And I'm very thankful for this day and for this time. Thank you.
Hello everyone. Have you ever had wound in your life? Have you ever suffered from any disease? It makes us difficult, it makes us suffer, and it makes us weak. But when such things happens in our life, we can go to hospital and we can get treatment, and slowly it's become healed. Good morning everyone, I'm Asma, and today I want to share about my life, and I'm very glad for this opportunity. Today I want to share wounds of my heart. One day, when I was born as a girl child, my father, he left my mother and he get married with another woman. From that time, my father started to live with them and I started to live with my mother. When I was small, when I was young, it doesn't affect me much. But when I started to grow up, I started to see around me. I started to see the students, I see the children who holding father's hand. And I started to see the fathers who taking care of them and who is caring about them, who is supporting them. And I felt alone. When I'm seeing myself, there's no one to take care of my kid. And there's no one who can support me. I started feeling alone in this whole world. But in this situation, this thought brought me inside. But when I compare with myself with others, when I started to compare myself with others, that they have someone to guide them, they have someone to take care of them, and they have someone who can stand before them. But for me, there is no one. I suffer from this thought. I question myself, why I am existing in this world? Why I born in this world? But there was no answer. I wanted to disappear, but I couldn't. I wanted to finish my life, but I never tried that. But that such thoughts comes in my mind. But one day, I decided to share everything in my heart. I started to talk with my mother. I shared everything that I had been suffering through. I said what made me fearful, what made me alone, what made me painful. I said everything to my mother. And that day, she came to me and she held my hand and she said, Asma, you are not alone. I am with you. I love you. And I am ready to take all the responsibilities of your father and mother. Don't feel alone. I am with you. That day, I could feel that even though for the long time I was staying with her, but I never talked with her. And that day I realized there was that same emptiness was there, but I couldn't feel that emptiness because my mother in front of me, I could see my mother. That day I realized the power of communication. said my heart, I was suffering for my pain, but I didn't say. When I said my heart, I could realize that really the power of communication. And when I communicate with my mother, I could see my heart, it's connect with her and it's started to change and it's began to heal. Really, when in such this world, such a thoughts can come to us which can break us inside, like wounds. But there is a way to communication and there is a way to change everything. Really, fleshly wounds can heal through the doctors, through treatment, but inside the heart, emotions, wounds of the heart can be healed through the love, understanding, and caring. Thank you.
Good morning, respected judges, teachers, and all my dear friends. Today, I would like to share about my college experience. Before that, let me introduce myself. My name is Dileshwari and everyone calls me Dili. When I was studying in the college, I wanted to take 1 month leave to help with Christmas Canada sponsorship work in my church. Before applying, I asked my friends whether the college would give leave for church work. They said maybe not. There is a strong reason. At that moment, one wrong thought came into my mind. I went to my HOD and told him that my grandmother was in ICU and that it was an emergency. He told me to wait outside for 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, he called me. Did you all think of that? What he would have told to me? He agreed and allowed me to take 1 month leave. At that time, I felt so happy. And the next day, I joined the church work. We started our Christmas conductor work, and 15 days passed. One day, while crossing the road, something unexpected happened. Can you imagine? My HOD saw me. He stopped his car immediately and slowly came toward me and stood right in front of me. I was completely shocked. I started sweating. My hands were shaking. My heart was beating fast. Didn't know what to say. He scolded loudly and asked many questions. What are you doing here? Why you didn't went home? Why am I here attendance every day? Am I foolish? I couldn't speak anything and quietly left the church. After 1 month, when I returned to college, he did not allow me to enter the classroom. I called my sister. They came to request him, but he was not listening. I was crying. I became nervous. After that, I called my parents. They spoke with him, and finally, he allowed me to enter the classroom. Later, for Christmas cantata, he came to watch the program. After everything was finished, he came to me and touched my hand and blessed me. He said, I'm extremely sorry. I didn't know why you lied, but today I understood that you are doing a gospel work. I'm very appreciative, I'm very proud of you. And another thing, your program was amazing. At that time, I was thinking, I never invited him and I didn't know how he came. But he listened to the word of God, and now I could see that he received salvation, and now he is my church member. Through this experience, I understood that God works according to His word, even when we are weak and make mistakes. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm the world's best musician Akesh Naik. I'm so happy because today I could able to speak my experience to you all. Back in the days when I was in the India Star Dance Team and I was preparing for the World Cultural Dance Festival and World Cultural Camp, suddenly one day my teacher called me and he scolded me very severely because of my wrong mind. I was thinking, because of my financial issues, I don't have money. I cannot go to South Korea. There is no way to arrange it. And that time I had no even job. My parents told me that this time they cannot help me. Then my teacher told me, going South Korea, it is not a choice, it is necessary. The mentor who called you here, he has the power to send you. Even though he doesn't have any ability, through his ability, he can go to South Korea, learn heart, learn mindset, and learn faith, and move forward. Really, it was quite difficult for me to tune my heart with Master, but I tried. During that time, I heard about a choir named called Gracias Choir. They began with the members only 12, and beginning they did not have any music knowledge and they did not have proper training, but they believed and they spoke that we are the world's best musician. Even though nothing was like that, but they continuously spoke about that. So, through hard work, through practice, through overnight, they could really overcome. And in one time came, in the 14th International Chamber Choir Competition, they got grand prize. When I heard that one, it touched my heart so deeply. I realized one thing in my heart, that even the situation is not changing, my word can move my heart forward. From then on, I started speaking that in my difficult situation, I am rich, my mentor is with me, and my dance team has won the award. Day passed, nothing changed likewise. Slowly, the price of the flight fare also is increasing. My heart was filled with sadness and it was very difficult. But I was just keep speaking the same word that I am rich. My mentor is with me. The time came, I went home. I was thinking inside of me that how will this happen? Only 2 days left to go South Korea. The next day, one notification came. Ting tong! Without having any expectation, just I saw. It was written 10,000 credit in your account. I could not even believe. I was so surprised. I just stayed in my phone. How this person can send me this much money, even though he doesn't know me well. Really, slowly 5,000, 3,000, 2,000. All the notifications were giving me so much courage. Finally, I could buy my flight ticket with a high price. And the journey of South Korea was so joyful, so thankful. And I remember my dance team got 3rd rank in the World Culture Dance Festival. Really, through this lesson, I understood one thing, that really my character, my emotion, my abilities are nothing. When I get connected, my heart with the master, with the mentor, that time impossible things become possible. These days, when I face difficulties, I don't just fight, but I change my words. When I change my words, my mindset changes, my heart changes, my life changes. This becomes my faith. Thank you.
I was tired, following my distracted thoughts. I wanted to give up, but a new hope entered my life. Good morning, everyone, respected teachers, and to all my dear friends. When I was young, I received one thought, the thought that led me into distraction. Whenever my mom scolded me, I always tried to lock myself in a room, and I thought continuously that no one loves me. What is the use of being living in this world? I did if I better die. This thought continuously arose in my mind. Sometimes I feel scared, and then thinking that Why are they continuously coming in my mind? Sometimes I feel like, I'm just tired of living this world. But in the year of 2018, one mentor came in my life. That mentor started to guide me and lead me. At first, I thought, who are they to guide me? It's my life, my rules, my decision. I was such a person. But in the year of, after 19 years, for the first time in my life, I realized and I thought deeply how miserable life I was living, listening to my thought. From then on, I started to change my life, and then I started to listen to my mentor, who was guiding me and leading me to have a bright future. Now I could see myself then, how my life is and then how my life was before. I could see that from that on, if we have mentor in our life, a mentor started to guide us and lead us, and then we can have a bright future in our life. Thank you.
Everyone preparing for the upcoming battle, and finally, the day of the battle arrived. Now, we are standing at the border of solfeggio and rhythm exam. From far, the pitches came so fast and wide, riding on horses. I stepped forward and pulled out my sharp sword. Oh, how can I forget my weapon? Oh no, how can I face them like this? It's better to hide. The well of tears. Good morning, everyone. Have you ever jumped in the well of tears? I have jumped, because I felt I couldn't face them. But wherever I see is only tears. And the most terrible thing, the well walls, they were filled with taglines. You're so bad at solfeggio and rhythm. Day by day you're growing worse. Why can't you focus, Eve? It was so scary. You can't even play piano or violin well. You're disappointing your teachers. You know, it felt so dark. It felt so blurred. That time, my friend shouted, "Hey Eve, what are you doing there?" They pulled me out. Guys, I wasn't prepared for the test. So I just jumped in the well of tears. But now, I feel so sad about it. It's okay, Eve. Don't be sad. It was just a test. The next time, we'll prepare more harder. Then, our teacher prepared an interesting sports day. Yay! It's sports day! There were two teams, the blue team and the white team. We played hard and gave our best. The games were so interesting. Then came the last event, the relay race. Our team ran with full effort. Even when one of our teammates fell down, he didn't give up. Still, the opponent team won the relay race. I couldn't accept. We lost. The pain was rising inside me. It was so strong that I couldn't bear our team losing. I felt we came so hard. We played so hard. Why can't we win? Again, I started to search for the well of tears. The time I heard, "The white team wins!" What? We lost the relay race, right? Hey Eve, our team won! Everyone was happy. Everyone. Except me. I realized that the strong desire to win had turned into fear. And the fear led me to the dark well of tears, which I really didn't like. Whether it was an exam or a game, the fear inside me was the same. I wasn't afraid of marks or scores. I was afraid of failing. I was so focused to become Miss Perfect that I forgot to enjoy the beautiful moments that I already had. In life, we are always trying to do better and become successful. We run after goals, achievements, and dreams, believing they will give us true happiness. But in this race, we often forget to pause. We forget to cherish the moments. Have you ever seen the four-leaf clover? It is so rare. In 20,000 leaf clover, you may find only 2 four-leaf clovers. And that makes it special. People chase behind it. It represents success, luck, and something you hope to find someday. And this is the 3-leaf clover. It is common, found everywhere. And that is why people ignore it. Yet, it represents true happiness. The everyday moment we already have. I used to search for the 4-leaf clover, believing it will give me true happiness. It will give me joy. But no, I was wrong. True happiness is understanding the 3-leaf clover, the love of your family, the heart of your teacher, and the small efforts you put in. Now, I'm learning to enjoy my failures, because when I zoom into my failures, I can see so many 3-leaf clovers. Happiness is not having everything you want, but happiness is realizing what you already have. At last, I would like to say, don't let your one thought snatch away your million happiness. Thank you.
Good morning, respected judges, honorable teacher, and my dear friends. My name is Amos. Today I want to tell you a story, not a movie story, not a book story, a real life story. Today I want to tell you about one boy, a boy who was addicted to video games. You may be wondering, who is that boy? That boy is me. When I was just 12 years old, I was deeply addicted to video games. My phone was always in my hand. I couldn't leave it even for 1 second, not while eating, not while talking, not even while thinking. I knew it was wrong. I tried to stop myself again and again, but I couldn't. That time, my parents noticed something was wrong. They told me about music school. They said, go and learn music. But I replied, no, I do not want to go. After some days, they asked me again and again. That time, I started thinking. For the first time, I stopped playing and I started thinking. And finally, I said, okay, I'll go. But actually, I was not okay. When I entered the music school, I knew nothing. I didn't know notes, I didn't know rhythm, I didn't know music. I only knew games. But I started learning, slowly, step by step. And then something unexpected happened. I met a teacher, not just a teacher who teaches lessons, but a teacher who leads life. Wherever I made mistake, she corrected me. She never scolded, she never gave up. She corrected me once, twice, again. She corrected me always. Because of her, my life started changing. Slowly, but surely, if she was not there at the time, my life could have been gone in a very wrong direction. My life could have been destroyed. But she believed in me. When I went back home, people noticed the change. They asked me, what happened to you? How do you change so much? That time, I shared my testimony. I shared my story. And through my testimony, others also started changing. When I see that, I feel really, really good. Today I am standing here in front of all of you, speaking with confidence, standing with courage, not because I am perfect, not because I am talented, but because one teacher guided me and led me. Just like my life changed, just like my heart changed, I believe change is possible for everyone, no matter how low you feel, no matter how addicted you are, no matter how weak you think you are. All you need is one right decision, one right guide. I hope you also change your life. I hope you also change your heart. Thank you.
Many people think success means happiness, but the life of Chester Bennington taught me taught me a deep truth. Good morning, everyone. Today I would like to speak about the invisible battle. Have you ever fought with anyone or with yourself alone? You might know about Chester Bennington. Chester was famous, talented, and loved by millions of people. But inside, he struggled with pain from his past, fear, and negative thoughts. His mind became louder than his success. And finally, he committed suicide. This makes me think about my own life. In the same way, while I'm learning music at the Renaissance School of Music, I face many struggles, confusion, self-doubt, and moments when my mind says, "You are not enough." From outside, people may see learning, growth, and opportunities. But inside, the mind sometimes tells, very heavy. However, when I share my difficulties with my teacher, I feel very free from my problems. And my teacher tells, "Uday, you are the world's best musician. Don't forget it. And do not believe your own thinking. Do not give up." At that moment, I can practice well. I realize something important. The mind can be our best friend or our biggest enemy. When we think only our negative thoughts, they slowly control us. But when we accept the guidance, ask for help, then the mind begins to heal. So I would like to ask you, who is the mentor in your life? Chester's story reminds me that the Chester story reminds me that talent is not enough. We need connection, understanding, and hope. Through this, we can learn not to fight with our minds, not to hide our struggles, but to believe that every dark thought can be replaced with light. Because life is not about successful, it is about not giving up. Thank you.
Discipline is not a motivation, it's a spirit, indicates hard work. Good morning, everyone. Myself, Charan Teja, and I am world's best musician. So today what I am going to share is how I made myself disciplined. It was back in my school days when I was studying 9th standard. From my school, about 1 or 2 kilometers away, there was one school named Guru Nanak University. This school was conducting sports competition. So my school was invited to sports competition. Me and my friends were selected for volleyball team. It was the best team because we have the best teamwork. After a few days of practice, we attended the sports competition. With our school, the local schools all are invited, and they announced the first match. The first match began between my school and another school. The match started. In the beginning, we are playing good. After going further into the match, we will start losing our points. And I got a very severe injury in my leg. But I still continued to play. Then, after a few minutes, we got break. Then, me and my teammates were discussing about our lackings and our team spirit. After that, our match was start again. As we see only our goals, we won. After that, my injuries become severe. After that, I got to know that in the match also I got injury, but I did not stop playing. Then I got to know very important lesson in my life. If we focus on our goals, we might ignore the situation. It is the very important lesson in my life which I learned. It makes me disciplined. If we focus on our goals without looking our situation, we will surely win. Thank you.
You can change the way you think. Good morning, respected judges, teachers, and my dear friends. My name is Leah Mondel, and I'm studying music. Today, I would like to share a moment from my life. On a sunny winter day, our neighboring school was celebrating its winter fest, and our music school was invited to perform. I dressed up nicely and happily performed on the stage with my fellow classmates. After the performance, I noticed the band across the stage. Curious, I went over and spoke to one of its members. "Hey, what are you guys going to perform today?" "Oh, it's a song by The Strokes." "You know The Strokes? I love them." "Me too. It's my first time meeting a Strokes fan here." That's how we realized that we like the same music band, and our conversation eventually grew deeper. I told my father about it, and he advised, "There is a right time for everything," but I couldn't acknowledge his words. Soon, my teacher noticed that I was behaving different than usual. I seemed distracted and inattentive. One day, the boy offered me a chocolate. It felt special and exciting because it was the first time a guy had ever done that for me. Since I used to study in a girls' school before, this experience totally felt new and exciting. My teacher saw this and spoke to me with care. At my music school, we are not only taught music, but how to develop our world of hearts. When she asked me about him, I became nervous. I broke down. Deep inside, I knew that it was not the right time. Later on, when I volunteered on a musical tour, I started to reflect on myself. I asked questions. Why couldn't I listen to my father? Why couldn't I think deeply? A long time back, I learned about levels of thoughts. Do you remember when I first talked with him and I realized that we like the same music and our conversation eventually grew deeper? That was first level of thought, acting immediately considering only the surface emotions. But my teacher helped me reach the second level of thought, that is, rethinking in an optimistic manner. She made me realize that all I needed to do now was focus on music and academics. There's a third level of thinking too. It's called empathetic thinking. It's when we consider a situation through others' perspective. In today's busy world, young people like me often live quickly without thinking deeply. But thinking deeply helps us understand that wisdom comes from moving beyond one level of thought to the next one. Was it difficult to listen to my father? No. It was my own heart. A heart so certain of its own understanding. A heart so full of itself that it could not make any room for guidance from people who truly care about me. People who could have helped me reach the next level of thought. And yet, I was unwilling to accept their help. Well, in my case, I had never gone beyond the first level of thought, and being stuck there made me act without any prudent thought. But as I unlocked the next level of thought, I finally found the true joy each one of us here seeks. Thank you, everyone.
Close your eyes for a moment and imagine being trapped in the darkness. It's strength in your body, but no direction to your life. This is where my story begins. Hello everyone, good morning. My name is Tanish and I am world's best violinist and mind educator. Today, I want to share your story which changed the way I see life. Recently, I was reading a story about a blind man and a lame man. One day, a blind man fell into a deep mud pit. He tried, he struggled, he failed. No matter how hard he tried, but he was unable to come out of the pit. Finally, with no strength left in his body, he used
the last weapon in his armory. He screamed with all his might, "Help me! Someone!" And his screams were heard. A lame man came near the pit and he screamed, "Hey! Why are you playing in the mud pit?" Then the blind man replied, "I'm not playing. I fell down because I cannot see." The lame man replied, "Sorry, I cannot help you because I cannot walk." There was a moment of silence. Then suddenly, the blind man smiled and he came up with an extraordinary idea. He said, "That's perfect. You became my eyes and I'll be your legs." The story is not just about two men. The story is about life. The story is about me because I was the blind man. I had strength. I had potential, but I had no vision. I was following the world. I was following the crowd. I was following the noises while slowly suffocating inside. I smiled outside, but I was silently screaming inside. But one day, a bright light shone upon me. Someone heard my silent scream. Someone reached my darkness. Someone became my vision. He guided me out of the pit. He guided me not unto an ordinary path. He showed me a different and unique path. A path filled with music, a path filled with purpose, a path that led me to a place I love the most. He showed me the beauty I never imagined. Today, I want to tell you one thing. Life does not demand perfection, it demands connection. When we stop hiding our weaknesses and start combining our strength, our limitation becomes our greatest power. So when vision meets strength, we can overcome anything. So I want to tell you is, never be afraid, never underestimate yourself, and never forget, alone we struggle, but together we rise. Thank you so much.
Have you ever compared yourself with others? Good morning everyone. My name is Abigail. Today I would like to share a small story about practice makes you perfect. One day I bought my first violin. When I saw it, I felt very excited and happy. I did not think anything else. I thought how to play it. After 3 days, we had our violin lesson with our new teacher. It was our first class. I could not understand anything at first. After that, my teacher showed how to hold the bow. After that, she is asking everyone one by one, try. When my turn came, I tried my best, but she said, no, try again, this is wrong. I felt little sad, but she said, it's okay, you're just a beginner, you practice more. After that, after so many days, during class I heard others saying she's improving, but in my mind I started to thinking, why I'm not improving like others, why I'm not practicing like others. One day, my principal told us, do not compare yourself with others. Everyone learns at a different speed. If you practice, you can reach your goals. And after so many days, we had our violin lesson. When I just started playing, my teacher started clapping and she said, good job. I can see that you are practice well. Through this, I understand if you practice, you can reach your goals, and if you practice more, you can be improved and you can be better. So that I want to tell you all one thing. If you practice, you can reach your goals, and if you If you practice, you can reach your goals and you can improve and you can better. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Timothy. I want to tell about one choice, one victory. Do you remember our sports day? We had a very good time, right? Yes, that day I too had a very good time. But there is one thing you all don't know. That day one boy was there. He was continuously losing in every game. Do you know who he is? Yes, that's me. Not only I was losing in every game, but each time I was going past and each time I lost. Few days ago also, we had rock paper scissors game to go one school for performance. But there also, I was the first person to lost. They said, in my life, I have failed in every game. But in my life, there is one part where I defeated everyone. Do you want to know? Yes, that. When I came to music school, I came with 5 more members. At first, we all were excited to come here. But day by day, they all started losing the interest and wanted to go back home. But I strongly decided not to leave music school. Actually, I had the same decision like them. But in my heart, there was only one thing. No, anyhow, I want to learn. I will learn. I decided and stayed. That's how I defeated myself, and one decision changed everything. I am so happy that not only me, wherever miss me, when they heard my story, they also cannot help but feel happy for me. Not only I won in that one game, but also I got so many brothers and sisters, as like my family, and a mother-like teacher who not only teach me music, but also guides my life. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I am Abhinav, the world's best guitarist. Today, I want to share a story which teaches about the mind behind everything. The sirens, the police sirens, ambulance sirens, they were ringing loudly right beside our house, and the only question in my mind was, what happened? A few days ago, something normal happened. Me and my mother went to a supermarket. We bought vegetables, groceries, and a knife. Not a dangerous one, just sharp. It could cut easily. And our neighbor uncle was there too. He bought the same knife. Same day, same shop, same knife. At home, my mother used that knife to cut vegetables, to cut meat. It saved time. It made cutting easier for my mother. But 3 days later, early in the morning, police sirens, ambulance sirens, very loudly, right beside our house, people gathered. My sister was calling me in a hurry. Abhi, come out! I stepped outside. My heart was beating fast because I had never seen anything like this before. Then I saw it. The police took out a dead body. It was our neighbor uncle's wife. She was dead. Then the uncle came out. His hands were locked with handcuffs. He was pushed into a police jeep. Everyone was scared by seeing him. We were also scared. And the only question in my mind was, what happened? Later we came to know the truth, that is, because of problems, loss of control and anger, that uncle killed his wife with the same knife he bought with us. In our home, we used that knife to cut vegetables. In his home, he used that same knife to cut a human life, her neck. So what is the real difference? How we use it. The knife didn't change. The knife didn't decide. The knife did not think. But the mind did. Good thinking builds life, bad thinking destroys it. If that man had controlled his anger, if that man had thought for one more minute, a life could have been saved. It's not only about the knife, it's about our mindset, our thoughts, our thinkings. In a wrong mind, even a simple knife can become deadly. So friends, before making a decision, before using a power, let's think twice. Let's share our hearts with others, like our friends, or whom we can trust, so that we will be in the right way. In a wrong mind, everything will be deadly. Not only the knife, it's about everything. If we want to be in a right way, we need others' help. Don't be ashamed to ask for help. Be thankful for that. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Today, I'm here to share one of my day from my life. I'm Sujal from Renaissance School. Today, I want to share one day, the day I decide to move, to not wait. Yes, most of the people think life changes slowly, and the change needs permission. That somebody, somehow, things will magically line up. But I thought that was life. I will tell you why I felt like this. Once there was a small and beautiful family, 2 parents and 3 children. The third loving one, yes, that's me. In my childhood, I had everything. My childhood was very prosperous, filled with lots of joy and enjoyment. And then, when I came to 3rd class, my mom, she passed because of kidney failure. Then I was too child, can't understand, can't recognize what was happening. As time passed, I came to 9th. Then my dad was ill from so many days, and visiting to hospital was very common to us. And one night, the darkest night of my life, the night I didn't saw till now, my father was suffering in front of me. He can't breathe, he can't stand, he can't sit. Just suffering and surviving for his life. Then my family took him to hospital. I slept night and woke up, freshed up myself, waiting for the response from my dad. Response has finally came, but from relative that he passed in this world. Then my mind started asking questions. Sujal, really? You became Arham now? Sujal, what you'll do next? My mind was fully blank. The things which I saw was just disappearing. Then I realized the change doesn't improve by itself. The change doesn't need our consciousness. Even a powerful person we admire was once scared, unsure and unqualified. But the only difference, they anyhow moved. Then I realized, once we scared, we was unqualified. But movement, I need to move. Because courage isn't loud, it's quiet. The movement which you take in quiet is the decision. And the moment I realized that moving forward is most important. Today, I'm here because I didn't took the decision of myself that I need to move. But I realized that I need to move. And I hope you also will move
not according to the situation, but think that this is the right decision. Thank you.
Good morning everyone. My name is Esther. Today I would like to share the thing which changed my mind. I am a karate student. When I started learning karate, my coach always told me practice properly and practice more and more. But honestly I took it lightly. In the next class, my coach asked me to show what I had learned. At that moment, my mind was full of thoughts. I felt confused. I became nervous. I didn't know what to do. Then he told, "Don't be nervous, just do it." But I couldn't. Then he told, "You're not practicing, that's why I will not teach you. You're not focusing." My mind went blank. I didn't understand what he meant. After that, I started practicing a lot. A few days later, my coach again he asked me to show what I had learned. I did many movements, but he told, "Still you didn't practice properly." Then I asked him, "Coach, what should I do more?" Then he answered, "Just focus." Then I said, "Sorry coach, I don't know what focus means." Then he explained, "Focus does not mean that doing many things, but focus means doing one thing at least for 1 hour without any distractions, slowly, carefully, and without mistakes." I practiced exactly the way my coach told me. After that, I was able to perform in a big program. After that, my coach said, "Esther, if you focus, you can do very well." From this experience, I realized something important. Even if I do many things, if I don't do them with focus, they don't have any results. But if I do one thing with full focus, that is the most successful thing. And I also learned that focus is uncomfortable, but the discomfortable helps us to grow and learn. When we feel discomfortable, it means we are coming out of our comfort zone. So from now on, let's choose to focus. Thank you.
Hello everyone. Have you ever seen a person who fell into addiction and how they came out of it? Okay. Once again, good morning everyone. My name is Gam Wang, and today I'm not here to tell you about a successful story, but a story of real life about alcoholic and a gaming addiction. At first, addiction doesn't bring in one day. It starts quietly. And alcohol gives us relaxation and gaming gives us entertainment. And slowly by slowly, it became being a choice and fall into addiction. I didn't start alcohol at once first, but I started using only in testing, and I started falling into addiction. And slowly by slowly, I used this alcohol every day. And this addiction, as I was taking alcohol, as the time passed, my body became weaker, and my night became longer, and my time became very less. And I lost my control and my everything. And one day, I started thinking and asked to myself a simple question: is this the life I want? Am I really going to live my whole life like this? That question entered in my mind, and I started to think, and that question started to change slowly by slowly. And I began to ask myself that, why am I taking always this like this? Am I not going very far with addiction? As this addiction is spoiling my life, and why am I taking always like this? I began to think, and slowly it began to change. And I use this alcohol as I replace alcohol with, and today I'm not here still free. I'm not saying that I'm perfect, but today I'm saying here feel that I choose over myself over addiction. As I want to say you something, if everyone is here falling into addiction silently here like this, just I want you to remember this, that you're not weak, you're not alone. And if I can do it, then anyone can. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I cannot do it this four walls come to my life. But the day I change to them, I can do it everything in my life began to change. My name is Ibril. Today my speech is about the power of changing our mindset. When I first came here, I was filled with fear and doubt. I kept asking myself, I don't know English, what I will do here? My teacher looked at me and said something that changed my life. She said, don't tell yourself I don't know. Instead, tell yourself I know everything. At that moment, I could not accept her word. There was a one boy inside my head, kept pulling me down and down, saying, you don't know anything, how can you say you know everything? I lived with that negative thought for a long time. While I was trapped in that mindset, I noticed something painful. My friends were moving forward, improving every day, while I feel like I was backward. I trapped in that mindset. I noticed something important, that the real problem was not my English, that the real problem was my thinking. So one day I made a decision. I started to tell myself, if you can do it, don't give up. With that belief, I took small steps forward. I made mistakes and I learned from others, and slowly I improved. What I learned from this journey is simple but powerful. When we change our mindset, take a step forward, everything is possible. Every problem has solution, every challenge has opportunity to grow. So never let fear decide your future. Never say I cannot. Prefer try, speak positively to yourself, even when your mind tells you otherwise, because that word you speak to yourself. If I can start today in front of all of you speaking in English, then you can also overcome whatever challenge you are facing in your life. Trust the process and never give up. Because that word you speak to yourself and never give up. That word, because that moment you change your mindset, you change your life. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Paul Johnson. I'm a world-best procrastinist. I'm the eldest of my family, and I hail from Vizianagaram, Andhra Pradesh. Today morning, actually, I watched a very interesting video. In the video, a scientist was holding one glass of water, and he's seeing with a telescope, and he's calling a lot of words, and he's cursing. He's cursing so many words. After that, he checked the water. What he found that the water has a lot of destiny and a different negative energy. Then the scientist holding another cup of water. Then again he is speaking a lot of good words. Then again he checked. What he found in the water was there was a very positive word. So what I want to tell you today is from early morning to going till the night, we are speaking a lot of good words and a lot of bad words. Through this we can see the words have an immense power. They can build our life, bring us hope, bring us success, and build us happiness. Psychologically, what I want to tell you is these words can lead our life to be a better future and help us achieve our goals. And similarly, these words, what we feel, the negative words, they can drag us down and will not help us achieve our goals. This is very interesting, no? So that's what I want to tell you is these words have two sides. You feel it's very interesting, no? So I will tell you with an example. There was a soldier, he was shooting an enemy with his gun. You can see the enemy died. Then soldier got recoiled. Then he got hurt. So what I want to tell you is our words have two sides. With one word we can feel, if you tell a good word, we can feel a positive vibe. And if it has a negative word, we can feel a negative vibe. So friends and dear respected judges, what I want to tell is your words can make a people, can also break a people. I want to tell you this much. Thank you.
Good morning, respected teachers and my dear music fellows. Myself, Paul Daniel. Today, I want to share one of my experience from my life. The hug that changed my life. One cold winter morning, I was alone at my home. The wind was howling outside, and the silence inside felt strange. Suddenly, I heard a terrifying, deep, echoing horror noise. Oh, it was very terrible. Just when I thought something bad about to happen, my friend shook me and woke me up. Oh, just it was only a dream. And I told myself and smiled in relief. I'm getting ready to my school, and on the way, my friend told me exciting news that our most famous hero movie was releasing that day. He told, "Come, let's go to the theater. We can bunk school just for today." He said, my mind was confused for a moment. But excitement won over responsibilities. Finally, we decided to bunk and rush to the theater. The movie started, the crowd, the light, the sound, everything felt magical. When climax scene began, something unbelievable. The scene same as my dream. Wow, very beautiful, but my heart shaking and my heart whispered. This was not just a coincidence. During the interval, we just talking nervously about the scene. When I saw my father standing over there, our eyes met, but he didn't shout, he didn't scold. He just moved with his silent pain in our heart. He told, after the movie ended, I just returned my home with heavy heart. I was scared what he would say. Instead of anger, he told, he came near to me and he hugged me tightly. He told, do you know why I am paying and why I am doing hard work? It is not just for your marks. It is for your future. You are my world. I don't want to destroy your life with your own hands. Your success is my happiness. Tears filled. At that moment, I understood something important. The real hero was not on the movie screen. He is standing right in front of me. That night, I realized the dream and the movie were not the warnings of horror. They were reminders to wake up before it was too late. That night, and from that day, I decided to love my father's love and respect my father. Thank you.